Well, if you haven't noticed, our lower thirds, these things right here, otherwise known as supers, in green. And there's a reason for that today. Welcome back to Central Valley Talk. I'm Austin Reed, coming to you live from our Tower District studios. And you're watching us live right now on YouTube TV, Facebook, and at CentralValleyTalk.com. Beautiful day here in Central California. All right, now, without further ado, I want to introduce Richard Gomez with the Green Party
Absolutely.
of California.
Yes, in fact, more accurately, the Fresno County Green Party.
The Fresno County. So you just serve Fresno County.
My constituency is in the county of Fresno, right?
So tell everybody, for folks that aren't really familiar with the Green Party, what is it?
Well, we're still one of the largest political organizations in this county. Of course, most people don't hear us because, well, generally speaking, the media outside of Michael Briggs, thank you very much, shows us in a sense. I mean, I remember years back, about 2003, I think W. Bush came in, he flew in. Well, he didn't fly in, but he came in, he landed, and we had a demonstration. We had all these Green Parties triangular cards out there, and we were waving it around to people because we had this problem. We had a lot of problems with W. Bush, but the person I can't remember the station. In fact, it might have changed over from 30 to 47, or 47 to 30, or 50. Well, whatever.
Yeah.
The bottom line is, he actually asked the reporter, which we had surrounded her with all these placards of the Green Party, this and that. He asked her, "Well, who are the people in the demonstration there?" And she said, "Well, Democrats, Labor, and other people." Even though we were there and we had signs that said Green Party, she totally ignored us.
Wow.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's like a price tag. Any reporter locally, or maybe even nationwide, that mentions the word Green Party will lose their job.
You guys just don't really, we don't hear a lot about the Green Party.
Well, that's true, because you have to pretty much go to our websites or get our press releases, sometimes seeing it from the Facebook or even Twitter accounts. I mean, last year we had Howie Hawkins and Angela Walker who were running, and they're still out there talking, usually Tuesday nights at 5 o'clock on a Facebook. And this is where you can hear them still. But the problem is, like I said, the media is more interested into the right, left, wrong, one or two punch, and that's it.
Yeah.
They don't want anybody else to know about anything else.
Well, and you hear about Democrats, you hear about Republicans, you even hear about the Libertarian Party, but you don't hear a lot about the Green Party or the Independent Party, which a lot of people don't realize is actually a party.
Wait a minute, you mean the American Independent
Yeah,
Party?
the American Independent.
That's slightly different, I know.
Right.
A lot of people get that confused.
Yeah.
Because it's written American Independent, they assume it's independent,
Exactly.
but it's not actually.
So for a ninth grader, what does the Green Party stand for?
Actually, that's interesting because we did get a call from a high school teacher in Parlier.
Okay.
And he wants us to do a nice little presentation.
Oh, cool.
So in April, I believe.
All right.
Kids have got to come back or whatever, the system, And we don't want to interrupt their test. Sorry, kids.
Yeah. Now they're mad.
Yeah, yes. Well, we want them to know that, one, we actually believe we're the first party to actually put the environment, people, and trying to to clean this place up for their generation and hopefully their generation after them. But we're so much more because, in a sense, when you say the environment, well, that's almost everything. I mean, that's the planet, but it's also doing things that are right for people. Like here in Fresno, I mean, they've had this, I'm trying to think of this name, it's that big train, and they've having trouble for years doing it. The speed train, the fast train.
The high-speed rail.
The high-speed rail. They have it all over the world. And yet, in this country or this state, they can't seem to do it right. They seem to be taking time. They want to be able to make a lot of money off of it. And then most of this is geared specifically right now just for something from San Francisco to L.A. with a little break-in for Fresno, maybe. I mean, they're not looking at the big picture, that hopefully if we are around in 50 years, one, we're going to need a high-speed rail system that works and is relatively cheap for everyone. I mean, just this street here, just down the street a few years ago, there used to be a doctor who was upset because people were just zipping by, going, and he was having kids, and he said, the problem, if you live within 1,000 feet of a freeway or where there's a lot of cars that are going fast, your kids are going to be guaranteed to get asthma, as well as other things. And that's the thing that people should be thinking about, because this is their kids. And unless you have a kid who's gone through that, you really don't know how horrible it is. Now, I have a younger brother that had to deal with this. And it's tough, especially back then. Unfortunately, I'm a lot older than I look. Very much older. But, and they didn't hardly know anything. But even the doctors didn't know that much about going on. And it's the worst thing, when you're raising kids, is not knowing. I mean, there are things that you don't know, but eventually are going to resolve themselves. But when you have something like a disease that you don't know anything about, and the doctors really don't know that much about, that's a horrible thing for them.
So realistically, the Green Party stands for the environment.
In a sense, everything of this are. I mean, but we also care about, people, specifically people over profits, because we have a capitalistic system that is breaking down more and more, and it's been destroying not only human beings and our environment and everything, but our thinking, our way of thinking. It's like, for a lot of people, they believe that capitalism is the only natural way, and it's not. In fact, the guy who wrote the book on capitalism, at the end of his life, was trying to burn all the paperwork he had, because he came to the conclusion that eventually this is going to backfire on everybody. I mean, it's just the idea of having fewer and fewer people having all the wealth and more people not having the wealth. At the very least, the people are going to get angry and start storming the castles or the Congress. On the other hand, unlike January 6th, people, there'll be a large military presence, could kill a lot of people. But, this is what we're going towards, and we got to get off. We've got to get off of this and get to what we consider more eco-socialistic idea. Now, don't worry about the socialistic idea, but to be fair, because we're running low on time, environmentally speaking, we may have to we're going to have to do some serious stuff. You expect the corporations to simply, will fall in line? No, they're going to fight it tooth and nail. They will toss more lawyers than M&Ms given out at Halloween. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, because they honestly believe, Now, I don't know if they were raised that way. I'm not rich, so I wouldn't know how they were raised. But this is one of the reasons. I mean, the idea of an eco-socialist is simply a new economy. I got to read this because my memory is not that good.
That's fine, yeah.
A new economy, a social system based on an end to patriarchy, racism, colonialism, imperialism, and all forms of oppression by class, power, and privilege. Social and community ownership of productions and exchange. Meeting humans and planetary needs. Decisions made democratically by committees, workers, and society as a whole. The need to restore, maintain, and sustain the health of the natural world. Because this is it. This is the only planet we got. There is no planet B. Don't expect a rocket ship to get onto it to take us somewhere else. That ain't going to happen in my time and your time and Michael's time over there and hiding in the back. It's not going to happen, If it goes about 100 feet and comes right back down. Not a good plan to count on. We got to make it here. This is our life. We came from this planet. and we need to live it. And if we want the future generations to live here, we've got to make that choice.
Talk about global warming here in 2021 now.
Well, in a few months, it may not necessarily to be talking about it. They're talking about 100 degrees. Fresno, no big deal. We're used to that, right? But it may get hotter than that. And of course, the necessary for water. That's a big deal. You know the old saying, whiskey's for drinking and water's for fighting for. That's California. But also, excuse me. But the idea that we're going to have to survive in this type of climate, in which all sorts of different and weird things may happen, various diseases or parasites or whatever that are used to the hot temperatures may come our way. Simply put, they're just following where they need to go, because parasites are living creatures, and like I said, they don't want to stick around where they're not wanted. And if it's too hot down south, they're coming to Fresno because it's hot enough for them.
So if somebody wants to volunteer or get involved with the Green Party, can they do so, and how easy is it?
Well, you can get a hold of me. I think my number is there. I can't see. But okay,
yeah,
great.
Is. Yep, right at the
phone
bottom.
number is there. They can also check out the website for the state, cagreens.org. But we ask people, register into the Green Party. I mean, if you're wondering, well, is Biden going to do anything really? How can you put his feet to the flames? If we had 1 million Californians from Democrats and Republicans where all of a sudden switch over to Greens, that will catch notice. Biden's eyes will pop out, so they won't call him Sleepy Joe anymore. But that's going to say, uh-oh, we're doing something wrong. We're supposed to pacify them, but they're not being pacified anymore, and that means they're going to have to do something. And hopefully they'll be smart, because, a lot of this stuff like the Green New Deal, that came from the Green Party, 2009. A lot of the environmental stuff from the Green Party. Medicare for all. Well, actually, a little bit before, but we have been the strongest advocate for Medicare for all. And I'm sorry, folks, but we all, coronavirus or whatever, are going to get sick. We're gonna need help. Sorry, but that's one of those things. I mean, I'm okay, I hope, but problem is we can't afford it. I mean, look at in Texas, there are people
It's a nightmare,
suffering. Yeah.
Right.
You think the utility bills are bad. The healthcare bills are ridiculous. We can't go that way. I know. I mean, it's bad enough that a group of crazy people attacked Congress on January 6th. But, if this keeps going like this, maybe you want to attack Sacramento. But, that might be some real seriousness, because, hey, we got to get their attention.
We're facing dire times right now, for sure.
More than, especially in Fresno.
Yeah.
So.
Richard with the Fresno County Green Party, good to meet you. Thanks for coming on again.
Well, thanks a lot, Austin.
Appreciate it.
I'd also like to say thanks to Michael Briggs.
Yes.
One of the few people, if not only person, that allow the Green Party to be on. Gives you the opportunity to ask yourself the question, what are we about? Who are we? And makes you think. Sorry about that, but thinking is actually a good thing.
cagreens.org, too.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Like I said, once again, thank you very much, Austin. It's nice meeting you.
Yep.
Take care.
Glad I was able to interview you today. Hey, that's going to do it for Central Valley Talk for this Thursday. Thank you for joining us. Have a fantastic upcoming weekend, and I'll see you again next week. Enjoy the sunshine.